Welcome, welcome to my lovely IHP community and the 5D collective. We are a bunch of lovers, all of us, with the securely attached higher self in the lead, as the resiliency in one's restorative embodiment involves self-awareness, accountability, regulation skills from securely attached whole self individuals, and we have been talking about that. So, functional inner child adults, I have a lot more words to bring to you being yourself. We begin with inner growth mindset to then add mindfulness practices and mindset skills without even knowing that I was already doing it as a teenager. So, my 16-year-old, she's not ruling me, I'm ruling my own self, and that's because I'm using my integrated brain. And there's a process to it. Those who disregard it, we love to leave our brothers and sisters of fear, 4D mystics and 4D spiritual, 4D mindful. Those would be just all spiritual bypassers and the pretenders of mindfulness. But I want to leave it alone because we have other soul age groups. 3D frequency is also something explainable. Cognitive dissonance, structural dissociation, and people who live in the ancient times in rigidity. And so with that, here we have people who don't use trauma charges against each other, but instead, again, and in honor of what true love is, the dance of true love. Yes, it is with higher self securely attached, again, mystics, spiritual, and whether they use the word mindful or not, people. And thanks to an empowered masculine, I get to dedicate words to someone who also knows what being a true lover is. And true, True. As Sam Harris points out, you only know what truth is if you're grounded in reality, which means you know that any of your cherishable beliefs are falsifiable because, well, information, it keeps building, and nobody's going to become a dinosaur and think that only 10 books are actually of relevance to tomorrow. No, we have a bunch of different religions, a bunch of different faiths, a bunch of different words. Did you know that prophet and guru basically mean the same thing? And when you tell people that, no, they don't. Well, I mean, yes, they have different cultural background, historical, and their sound, definitely the word makes a different sound, so I get it. Also, the image, the energetic imprint, all of it. But since consciousness is being looked into by scientists, they will also tell you, like Bill Nye or Nay, however his last name is, even if the Matrix are real, do you really think you're going to prove it? And also, FYI, since we are part of consciousness, at least I am, as an enlightenment soul age group, functional child adult who is a mystic, who does channel, download, and everything, but I have what I call a 5D body type because I'm an embodied brain that's integrated. Again, so I don't use my amygdala, and I don't use my implicit or explicit memory from my childhood and my child parts, and I actually don't use any of TV and shows, but I do know that the only way my brain is going to make sense of things, it's an embodied brain with my mind, is that from my body, thank you, Peter Levine, sensations, images, behaviors, I've been confusing the order, affects, and meaning come up. And I know how to contain it. And then I know how to be grounded, what was it, Sam Harris, in reality again, and know that any of my beliefs can be falsifiable. I also know that stories of Lucifer are stories from people who didn't know about science. And Patrick McNamara, neuroscience, and that neuroscience, neurotheologians, and more than just that come together with, again, spirituality. So everyone who is smart, we get to be here and talk about love. So true love, again, let me dedicate some words to two lovers who dance the beat of true love, because we dance the beat of our own drum, because we are higher selves, higher, the whole self, securely attached human beings. Non-traumatized because we process the charges with our prefrontal cortex. So we focus attention and awareness, we sit and we learn flexibility, adaptability, coherence, energization, and stability together. Let's get together. Yeah. Because we're curious, open, accepting, and loving, but also because we're connected, open, aware, and loving within ourselves. So you can't actually be having a self-empowerment journey, enlightening, if you don't know how to be in the kind intention. That's the third step to mindfulness. Thank you, Dr. Yana Siegel. And when you do mindfulness practices with mindset skills, because you can sift through sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts, easily. Okay, so it's not like, oh my God, I need to drag a pain. No, it's easily. Dying is not easy. No, because you won't be here anymore. Living is easy because we do know about unknowns, uncertainties, and unexpecteds. Just we deal with them with our open heart, the main modules of the Inner Growth Mindset program, while going with the flow, which neuroscientists let you know, unlike what Nietzsche thought, which is that you need to be a superhuman being, and Nietzsche is the same as those teenagers who use their sympathetic and they're visceral. Yes, they need superheroes, supervillains. We don't. That's why we're functional child adults. We have a good time with our anchored in ventral energy, and our 14-month-old knows exactly what it wants. So, as I was saying, yes, every superior human being will instinctively aspire after a secret citadel where he is set free from the crowd, the many, the majority. And as Stephen Porges points out, he hopes therapists understand that which is, let me go find quotes. This is what I do. I integrate different things. Give me a minute. And here he is. He says, we tend to think of triggers as words or scripts or context. Left mode comes online at 2 years of age, so that's not it. I'd like, he says, therapists to think of them as triggers of physiological state. Yes, so when I see pseudo-aliveness on a screen, they say dying is really easy. Living is hard, and you say, no, it's only for pseudo-alive people who still need to go heal because their body wants to become the restorative embodiment because it's actually smart, the empowered feminine. But it's only empowered when you have learned to use your window of tolerance and make it into window welcome versus continue to re-traumatize yourself and basically ignore that you're playing out, whether it's implicit, explicit, we don't know. There's many different ways that I could go for it, but I will use what is, thank you, Ruth Lanius. I took this course with her and the other lovely lady, finally I get her last name, Bethany Brand. Okay, so Ruth Lanius, unless you are fully grounded, you can't take in information fully. You cannot connect fully with others, and you are not there fully. Let's go for Bethany. Bethany Brand, when a traumatized person is not well grounded, they are probably not fully using all of their brain. Yes, because actively alert, and you're not in your prefrontal cortex, and you're actively using the certainty of anger, so superficially, or maybe anyways, you're in your temporal junction, so you're using the past. Trauma time is the subconscious and conscious. Your first 3 years are implicit. So there's plenty of explanations I've heard of, and people who know of this stuff, I have to stay modulated. And it's like, no, that's not the healed version of you. And your body is actively seeking to allow you not to live that anymore. If I don't feel grounded to this earth, if I don't have a good center of gravity, I can't protect myself because I'm not on solid ground. Ruth Lanius. And so again, only if we feel grounded to this earth can we protect ourselves. As Terrio points out, boundaryless means you don't know how to create a relational field where you're a happy person speaking your truth. With boundaries that are rigid or whatever, you're still not going to be building connections or relationships. So people who understand, if we don't explore our reactions from our past and the impact they have on those around us, the messy disaster just repeats. Thank you, Patrick Tiahan. And he also shares this one with us. You're living in the past. No, he crossed that out. My past is living in me. So when people are actually true lovers, their past doesn't live in them because they're self-aware, kind of regulating, and they know that it's neither always you or never you in the business of being wrong or right. So they get out of any of that aggressive or sneaky business that involves the aggressive, some of the inner children, they can't tolerate being wrong. So they argue, defend, and want to get the last word. They get nasty or superior. Here's our martyrs and superiors, martyrs, superiors. Then we got our blamers, the sneaky inner child, take in all the responsibility of conflict and never defend themselves because it's probably us. Even if we're right, we'll still take the blame. And then they become like the squirrel from Cusco land. That's why they're sneaky, because then they will, at one point, shape, or form, do something. And that's where we got our anxious on unhealthy self-worth boundaries from Terry Real, and then our avoidance, if you will, the rigid in the way of we're not going to talk about this. And I'm just going to close off my heart. This one is going to get clingy. And so desperate manipulation is in shame. In the avoiding, I lock myself up in a room, I'm going to kill myself, whatever it is, because now I'm completely blaming myself. And this is all healable if people take seriously not doing any of that alone, but going to good therapy and then taking the time that it takes to learn to self-regulate and to become securely attached and untraumatized, so that they don't say, I want different self-help, I want life now, so that they can say, oh wow, I'm having the opportunity to sift through my sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts right now. And people are like, that's boring. No, secure attachment isn't boring for those of us who have experienced it our entire lifetime, which is why true love, true partnership, yes, it isn't with push-pull dynamics, testing, and or becoming grandiose. The squirrel from Cusco land, I did everything for you. Really? Now you're going to think I'm going to come and, like the squirrel from Cusco land, allow myself to justify, here's our nice boys, nice girls, that whole stuff of where they just flip a switch. Yeah, they're up here. as that's like actively structurally dissociated. I knew what I was doing, but I was still gonna go there and tell them a piece of my mind to inflame. Not, it don't matter, they're up here. And you're like, okay, look, this is really dangerous business. And then that's it. They don't care to go to Pat Ogden, Stephen Porges. No, Stephen doesn't practice, but basically Patrick Tan or Terrio. Up here, they look back and say, look, I'm doing so much better than you. And then all of a sudden they might switch back down, and who knows. But again, they don't have to go up and down, but you better bet I'm in my light and my shadow, and they keep fighting things that don't exist. That's why teenagers. So 4D Collective, they still enjoy superheroes, supervillains, and those are mystics, spiritual, mindfully living, loving people, and that Zen master has laundry for that reason. On the other hand, us for the 5D, we do know we're becoming always more and more truly aware that every bit of life, we are mortal. So because you are mindfully aware of that, you're going to cherish knowing of those who also want to build. And so with that being said, the dance of, again, true lovers. It is when you are securely attached within yourself because you love yourself first, because you're self-aware, accountable, regulating. Nobody's perfect, no, but we don't project aggressivity or sneaky business because that's really child's game, and that's where therapists are good. So the dance of two lovers who dance to the beat of true love, it's only true love because they love themselves first, which means they're bringing the best version of themselves without the need of the other partner. No, because living a life of meaning and connection is beyond the solo self only when you own the sense of self. And you have a meaning that goes beyond one human being. You need air, water, and food, and that's number one, basic survival. And there's an asteroid that might hit us, so intelligence wants to figure out together alliances. How can we make sure that the world will keep moving forward? That's empowered masculine, empowered feminine, which is why they will automatically, no, they will be like, you expand me. So when you meet masculines, you say, okay, I wasted. No, they didn't really waste my time. They still expanded me. I had a bunch of different masculines that I can tell you all about. Dysregulated feminines, they also expand me. They allow me to remember that I don't know everything and that I need to leave alone, that they want to fill each other's hearts and souls with, golden rings and princesses and princes in a way of, wow, you look awesome, power couples. Sure, you're powerful. So when you actually are powerful, here's what happens again, and that's because anyone who has self-acceptance knows I could be crooked, you could be crooked, we're all crooked. Really, we are all going to make mistakes, but I want to talk and talk more and walk more and continue. And like the little Energizer battery, I'm not stopping this. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, boy, you just don't realize what you do to me. Okay, so two lovers who dance to the beat of true love. Our dance to love began like a slow merengue, each to the beat of our own sway. When the rhythm wants to sway, dance with me. I'm not in tune. It's okay though, because see, I get to just make fun of myself and you get to have entertainment, and then that's how it works. Over time, we moved to an intriguing bachata. And so it began, the dance of two lovers who didn't know to be so. Two lovers coming in from opposite ends, meeting each other in the middle, while also expanding each other. Anybody know how dancing works? I do, because I did ballroom dancing. The man leads. I'm totally cool with that, because I don't do gender stereotypes, and I do know about the differences between the brain, and they're more visual, and really I'm also not of rhythm, so I'm happy that the man can lead. And the best dance I've ever had, the best, after learning from my ballroom dancing teacher, I don't care if you're gender, the man leads and you don't. And my partner in this case was a woman who was also pregnant. And as she grew, I'm like, can we still get the tango? What do you think? And we had a great time. And I got a good grade. Yes, I did. A very good grade. But yes, my best dance, he was a stripper. I didn't know that. But he basically, like my teacher said, if the man leads well, you're going to be like a little princess. And it was true, but not like a little princess. Excuse me. Let's think. No, not that word. But just put it this way. If you do enjoy the art of music and the art of dancing when you're watching, for example, the Olympics. I love when I see those the ice skaters and the dancers, and he had me feeling like I could dance. And I know I can't, but that's the part. He is that good. And so when I found out that he was a stripper, I was like, okay, that makes so much sense, because you weren't sleazy, you weren't slimy, you weren't some asshole who was trying to put a move on me. In fact, I told him, I said, I'll dance with you, but you ain't getting shit. This was at a club. And so all he said was, okay, but can I have a kiss? In Italy, it's normal for us to say hello and goodbye like that. In France, they give you 3, some places 4. So again, please don't be, no, I enjoy hugging and I'm okay with the kissing stuff. And men kiss each other too. So please, again, everyone, get biculturally integrated and learn about different cultures. And then, sure, I have plenty of laughs with people who don't like bikinis and Speedos. I like bikinis and Speedos, and I find it very much humorous to see people dressed and very wet once they've went swimming. And then I think, like my family's taught me, that is going to give you rheumatitis. And I don't care if scientists say it's not true. I'll bring in my pseudoscience woo-woo and all of that, because you know what? Ancestors did know some things. And really, again, I could explain it. I won't bother. So when they call our folk tale, whatever, folks, yeah, we don't need to go to the extremes either, though. We don't need to become the anti of everything science related. Please, that's another extreme. So any extremes, we have an idiot in the room because they don't know how to do the gray. So they don't have bilateral integration, and their 14-month-old is ruled by a Wendy, and the Lost Boys follow Peter Pan, and Peter Pan follows Wendy, and we don't follow any of that because those are actively people who are cut off from Purusha Prakriti, meaning pure consciousness and pure energy. And they're not smart because adaptive child part people are a child's version of what a grown-up coulda, woulda, shoulda done, and that's their teenagers still saving themselves, which is why then they create groups that cheer each other on like the flat earthers, and they stand around with charges, and we don't want to stand with them. They're divisive, like the high schoolers that separated themselves, and I'm like, why would we do that? Don't we want to come together? So yes, we have different backgrounds, but when it's a flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain, because you have curiosity, yes, openness, awareness, and love of yourself, but also you're connected, open, aware, and loving of yourself and others, means you have truth, because that's where your prefrontal is on in the absence of using your societal and implicit, explicit biases and all of that shit that doesn't really need to be in the room. 14-month-old, when I have it come up, it's okay. Look, I'm trying to read the book. I know why we don't like the boxes, but it's a really good book. You know what? Never mind. We're going to have somebody who can help translate this book for me so that I don't have to be irritated, because you try and then at a certain point you're like, okay, this is my weak strength. No, my weakness. And I know who my strength is. And so again, with that being said, we find a rhythm and rhyme. 2 lovers coming from opposite ends, meeting each other in the middle, like a beautiful dance partnership, while also expanding each other and every day more enriching each other from the mind. I can't talk to you. What the fuck are we doing? The heart, you have to be open-hearted. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing yet? The body, yes, eventually, maybe for some. For others, remember, we have our lovely polyamory community. Not all are polygamists. And please don't do, you're all masochists. You're all whores. You need to be more poly. Or, what was it? Ew, polygamy. Please, please. Doesn't anybody just know? No, the fucking business isn't where love comes. No, that actually, if you do that first, like Stephen Porges points out when he says he was going to write the book on what true love is with his wife, it's only if I can sit with you consistently over time. And the spectrum of secure attachment means that you don't want to get up and run away from me, which means you have to be able to have a higher self, because otherwise you're going to have unfinished business, and your unhealthy self-soothing mechanisms equal Tom and Jerry, which is why when people leave each other out of nowhere, I'm more in favor of when Jessica Fern says, you know, polyamory could be an option. Those are like, you're losing the integrity, the value, the valor, whatever, of death do part, sickness and in health, right? All that. Yeah, sure. Okay. You know what? I'm going to say that it's not a must, but to be able and love someone means that you want them to be happy, which means compersion, you to be happy. And then it's also to be realistic, meaning amygdala, hello, what's going on? So authenticity, transparency, integrity comes when people, like Terry will point out, can talk about shit. And he gives them a mediator. I don't need a mediator. Functional child adults, again, higher self. That's why we know true love, which is why we don't need a mediator. We also don't take offense because nobody's suppressing anyone. Because again, if you have self-worth, that means you're empowered. It means accept yourself. It means you don't project insecurity. Emotions don't come. And then, you know, okay, so that's why Stephen Porges with his wife were going to write the book. The publisher said, nah, Stephen, people want drama. Not really. Only the not lovers, the tragic, unhealthy self-worth, toxic. They're all toxic. I won't talk to them with the word because that would be weaponizing it, but they will make sense of their toxic relationship, just as Patrick Tian points out. And then they will go around as martyrs to peers and blamers, talking about each other and thinking of their relationships as awesome versus, nope, you are a wounded child who's not knowing how to give up on, basically, no, you didn't save yourself. You didn't go to therapy, and now you're still playing it out on a karma wheel. So for the 4D3D, it's very clear they perform in love. In fact, you watch as they perform with superficial societal gender stereotypes continuing to be reductive as well as insulting. No, gross, yuck, ew. That's the word that comes out of my mouth when I see idiots talking. Pinocchio, have fun on your island. I don't think Lucifer. No, I think, wow, if he were real, he would be like, shit, I got the losing team. Yes, I'm sorry. Fear doesn't make you triumph. Envy, jealousy, spite. Also, your dorsal vagal, it's shut down. And so is your sympathetic distress. I'm so sorry. You don't feel invigorated by the day, do you? It's not one emotion anchored in ventral energy. No, actively, if you were smart enough, you would have understood why restorative embodiment is what you want to aim for, not modulated. Instead, your ears just heard, I need to be in my sympathetic, because you actively think you're a superhero fighting a supervillain and you forgot about God. You forgot about the intelligence that is bigger than every single one of any little speck of life at all over the planet, all over the infinite galaxy. If you have that faith, you know, dark matter, dark energy, don't implode on us, please. You don't forget. Bigger picture. You also don't be scared, because the heart and mind of God, for those of us who are higher selves, discerning, wise, good judgment, equanimous, common-centered, not vindictive, not reactive, not little venomous tooth, not insecure human being with a very, very dark side of neuroplasticity because they lack the education that is. Evil doesn't exist from the philosophical religious textbooks. It exists in Michael Stone's forensic criminologist scale. They all are healable. They're all, in fact, surrounded by therapists. This mystic manifester right here, they're all surrounded by therapists. Then they're all on a volcano. Guess who's on the way top of the volcano? We got a first layer, we got a second layer, and I'm not going to give it away, and we got a bottom layer. And that's because the bottom ones are actually salvable. The other ones, well, I mean, it's strategic. My empowered masculine will know all about it, because that's why that's an empowered masculine. They know how to be strategic from their thoughts to their feelings and back forth. And I know how to do, well, my gut is saying this. Let me try with words again. Hold on. Give me a minute. Here. And together they come. And therefore, aerial view, plane view, ground, and you keep on working together, not testing each other. Because see, testing is ridiculous. That's why, Diego, how you having fun with your family out there? No, Diego doesn't go out there. Diego has Manny, Diego, and Sid. Ice Age. Great. So true love. It's having fun together. As we, again, do the rhythm wants to play. So as we found our own rhythm and rhyme, we made our way to the beat of our very own cha-cha-cha. And without planning anything, found ourselves dancing to our own sweet and spicy salsa and tango all in one. All along, our dance was that of true lovers at heart, mind, body, self, and soul, made of honesty, integrity, authenticity, vulnerability, and the willingness to take a leap of faith and let each other in the life of the other, to dance together the dance of life. A journey full of what? Into the unknown. Yes, a beautiful unknown, by the way. A journey full of unknowns, uncertainties, and continuous leaps of faith to build something alone and together to leave behind for future generations to come in a way that adds value for as many people as possible, the planet, and all of life. And so our dance to love began like a slow merengue, each to the beat of our own drums, love and sway. And now it's a beautiful, sweet and spicy salsa, tango, cha-cha-cha, and more, which maybe one day we'll also get to do together for real. As dance partners. That's fun, isn't it? I love ballroom dancing. In addition to life partners who dance to the beat of true love, as two lovers at heart, mind, body, self, and soul brought together by the rhythm and rhyme of life's unknowns. And these are the most amazing of gifts, which is why anybody who says it's easy to die and hard to live, I feel sad for them, because really, The dance of true love again. It is with you loving yourself first, being your true self, and it isn't a person, societal stories, or norms. It is when you are a self-empowered, securely attached person that you'll know love goes beyond the physical plane. And we will be talking about that one in a little bit. So again, taboos, norms, stories, yeah, sure. Love is the oxytocin gene hormone. It is about respecting each other from an individual perspective, expanded. Those who are in the 5D frequency and enlightening know how to do it. Doesn't mean it's going to be all roses and rainbows. But you better bet the smart ones of us know air, water, food, and yes, we can make it work. We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short, and there's no time to be fighting, my friends. So love and fear, the frequencies consistently expand consciousness. In the Enlightenment Soul Age group, all enlightened beings who are connected know it, so we're not afraid of today. We hope we will wake up in the morning. And thank you again. The dance of true love can only be held by true lovers. Have a great one.